Do it live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to a live edition of Bleav in the Dallas Cowboys. And thank you for being with us, however you take in the product. I would be Jeff Cavanaugh of 97.1 The Freak and DFW. More importantly, I'm me, like Ricky Bobby.
There you go.
Ricky Bobby. I represent me. This is my friend Jesse Holley. Like, are there places that you can find him broadcasting? Sure. But he represents him and him with the capital H. Here's Jesse kicking ass against the 49ers.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
All right, let me knock this out, and then we're going to do all the things. BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, pro, college hoops, all that throughout the year. Up-to-the-minute odds, stats, trends. You can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs, like the Mavericks, 6 in a row. They got all the things. In-game stuff, contests, props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime for your desktop or your mobile devices. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team and use our promo code Bleav, B-L-E-A-V, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. Hey, Jesse.
What up?
I've been out of town a little bit, so if anybody missed us, I'm sorry. I think Jesse has some stuff tomorrow. So do I. Humans are busy, but we want to churn out your Dallas Cowboys content for you, the people. It's what we want to do. We had a Mike Zimmer presser. Micah interviewed CeeDee and Jordan Love. There's a lot of things happening. Bleav, the title name, Bleav, would like us to do a Cowboys needs situation. We got all sorts of stuff we got to do. And this time we can do it with you guys here with us to fire questions and stuff. And no, it is not mock draft time to everyone asking. No, it's not. I have not seen enough players to do a mock draft. So no, give me 2 weeks. It'll be mock draft time on March 1st, give or take. Where do you want to start, Jesse? How are you? You look great.
Thank you, man. My water intake is really high. Back working out again, man. Life is good. Anxiety's been down. Depression has been down. I think that's a good thing. Took a nice walk today and a nap. I got a 2-mile walk in with Mamba and a nap. So I'm feeling really good. Had leftover barbecue for lunch from yesterday. Today, chef kiss. So
sounds dry.
Well, no, see, here's what you have to do. When you warm up bread and like brisket or ribs, get a mug. Doesn't have to be an unfiltered mug, but if it happens to be an unfiltered mug, that's even fine too. Get you a mug, put some water in it. Put that in the microwave. That takes up some of the moisture so that it's not drying out your food.
Okay.
Moisture is not drying out your food. Yeah. So bread, pizza, stuff like that. Get you a cup of water, put it in the microwave. No metal cups, no plastic cups. Get you a good coffee mug, put that in there.
Okay.
Help you out a little bit.
Okay, yeah, that's actually my that's my secret to the veggies in the air fryer. Is once my steak is done, you don't want moisture in there for that because I want to get as much char as I can, and that's tough in an air fryer. I want to get as hot as I can, but as soon as that's done, I'll put some water in the bottom of the air fryer and then do my veggies.
Oh,
that way you don't dry out the ends.
And it steams up.
Yeah, it's like that.
Oh, I didn't think.
And now look at that. You guys are all so blessed that you are trying to learn about the Cowboys and hear about the Cowboys, and what you got is barbecue and air fryer talk.
We're versatile.
You are so welcome. Where do you want to start today? Do you care? You want to just meander around the road? We can just have shout out to Matthew, who's in the super chat. So shout out to Union County, New Jersey. And Jesse might know where that is.
Let's go, baby. Shout out to the 908 Union County, baby. Let's go. Let's go, man.
All right,
let's go.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Let's move on from that.
908, baby. If you from the 908, you my people. You from Union County, you my people. Okay. Let's go, Matt.
Vance is in the super chat too. We have to start with the big question from the Super Bowl. You letting Usher hold your partner like that?
Honestly, can I be honest? I might let Usher hold me like that. I might let Usher hold. Like I wanted to go to Vegas so bad to watch his residency before the Super Bowl because he was like serenading all those women and he was singing those songs and there goes my. I'm like Usher. I might let Usher hold me.
That's interesting.
So, if I let him
I've worked with you a lot, and I feel like there's been a lot of moments where you look at me sideways and say things like, "Whoa, pause!" And now all of a sudden,
that's what you're supposed to say. Pause. You're supposed to say that to me right now.
Oh, pause.
There you go.
Pause.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I would let Usher hold my significant other whatever way he wants because it's just part of the show, and you have to have the confidence and the trust that everything is fine. No one that would ever date me would want anyone else. Like they're already something wrong. And if you're that wrong, you're stuck on that road.
But now that Usher's married, it's only right that another celebrity kind of, you know what I'm saying, grabs his woman. Let's see how he likes it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
That's fair game, right? Like Swiss Beats,
yeah, that's fair.
Swiss Beats, husband of Alicia Keys, you know, like now when he sees Usher and his new wife, like he got to grab her from behind. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, but the hunch type deal. And just hold it and smile. And then when he goes, hey, man, what are you doing? He just goes, hey, man, I'm just performing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to perform with your wife and you can watch if you would like.
Out to Adam 22.
Juan wanted to know, would you trade Micah for 3 first-round picks? Can I ask everybody a question? Can I ask everybody a question? This is from me to everybody. Okay? Because here is what we do when your team doesn't win. Shout out to the 49ers for firing Steve Wilkes because Kyle Shanahan's an idiot. Kyle Shanahan's one of the best head coaches in football. Letting Pat Mahomes have the ball second, knowing what he needs, that's some dumbass stuff. About the players that you want to trade for draft, like I think there's stuff we can talk about with Micah and CeeDee. And then if you wanted to, I could go to multiple sports in DFW because I think we have some of the best players with zero leadership ability in all of sports. But anyway.
Yeah, you confused me on your poll as well. You got me because I thought you were talking about Tyron Smith.
And I knew I should have been more specific, but I didn't want to put like names because all these people are too online. Like they'll respond and be like, "What the hell?" Like Micah was getting mad at people at the airport for wanting his autograph. You're famous. I mean, man, and I am an empathetic human, so let me step back for a second and say, you know what? I understand, Micah. Just because you're rich and famous doesn't mean your problems get power ranked lower than anyone else's. Your struggles are real because they're yours. Therefore, I respect them. But yes,
you don't have to put them on social media.
It would have taken less time to sign the autographs for the people who were creeping you out than it did to take their picture and post them and complain about it. Whatever.
Micah Parsons 3 first-round picks. Go.
Right. No, I wouldn't. I mean, I guess if you just don't want to pay money to somebody and you're like, yeah, I'll just take the pick.
You wouldn't?
No, absolutely not. No. Are they in the top 5? Like not from a good team. If it's a terrible team, maybe. Because here's the problem with all the trade people. And I'm going to do this for Micah and you can count this for CeeDee and you can count this for Dak. No, because you're all talking about blowing up something and then hoping to God that the accumulation of those picks is anywhere near as good as what you traded away, and it probably won't be. Like, no matter what you go, the idea of draft picks is to find somebody anywhere near as good as that dude. So why would you trade that dude for draft picks?
Yeah, but you also are the same person that also says how you win in this league is by having cheap, good players. So if I send away a guy who I'm going to have to, and if not this year, definitely next year, give him the highest paid contract for a defensive player in NFL history. I could take those same 3 draft picks and maybe not go get a caliber of Micah Parsons. We don't know. Maybe you do. Let's just say those 3 first-round draft picks are middle-of-the-road draft picks. Maybe I package 2 of those up and go get a guy who is comparable to Micah Parsons or close to Micah Parsons or maybe above under Micah Parsons.
There's only 3 or 4 Micah Parsons in the whole league. You're not getting him.
Under that. Or I get accumulation of guys, right? So, like, I don't know. We can't have it both ways. We can't say that building championship teams come from having guys who are relatively cheap on the roster and getting more guys for the value than saying keeping the guy for the value that's not a quarterback and paying him a boatload of money. Now, I know that people are going to say anything that I say that is not pro Micah Parsons, I'm a hater because of my recent situation with Micah Parsons. No, it's not. I think Micah Parsons, like Jeff, like most of you, is probably one of the top 5 best defensive players in all of football. I think he's a fantastic athlete. I think he is phenomenal at times. But if you're telling me I get 3 first-round picks, yeah, I might. That's a serious contest that I might have.
All right, you can get Tyler Smith, Mozzie Smith.
No, there's other guys that we could have picked instead of Mozzie Smith.
But that's the point, is you're not always going to pick the right guy there. You're just getting 3 first-round picks. You still have, and I just want to go backwards real quick because, yes, having young, good players is really, really important. But it's to support your 6 to 8 really highly paid players. That's what's on every team. You've got room for 6 to 8 guys. I do not have a better place to put money than a premier pass rusher, a quarterback, or a premier wide receiver. Trading away from those is silly. It's silly unless you're blowing it up, which I'm not. I think we're far enough away now from the playoff loss that the world has moved on from that's it. We're doomed. I'm trading everyone. No, you're going to try again and moving away from premier pass rushers, premier receivers, and top 5 to 10 quarterbacks. That is not what we do. They get our money. We'll give other people away. Unless you just insist that your money goes to guys that you feel better about everything about them. Because the reason I sent out the poll today, which was out of all these incredible leaders, who's the most incredible leader, I didn't specify, I just put jersey numbers, and I didn't specify that the 77 I was talking about was Luka Doncic, and then the 11 was Parsons, and the 88 was CeeDee. Because I do think that the city of Dallas right now, or DFW, does have 3 of the super incredible players. And between all 3 of them, I think they have that much leadership ability between all of them. Luke is an incredible player. CeeDee's an incredible player. Mike is an incredible player. And all of them have massive strides to take to even be okay as somebody that people are going to follow. Like, nobody follows any of those guys at all. And like CeeDee at least knows it and acknowledged it. He was like, right, there's nothing productive about me like getting angry and pouting, and I have to do a better job. Sweet. Now let's do it. And Mike is the same thing. Micah's body language is fine when things are great and ass when things aren't great. Luka is the same. So unless you want to trade people just because you're mad at the body language, like, I just want the good players. I want all the best players. Those are the guys I want. Who else am I trying to pay? Like, trade Micah Parsons for 3 firsts because I have to, like, I don't know. What do you want to give that similar money to Chris Jones? You could have Chris Jones in 3 1s, old Chris Jones. I don't know. Just stop trying to trade the good players. Just stop.
Okay.
I don't look at you because it sounds like you want to trade Micah Parsons. You're demanding.
Give me 3 first-round picks. I'm willing to trade. I'm willing to trade about anybody for 3 first-round picks.
You know what? The one that I actually think would be more interesting is if somebody asked that about CeeDee, because I do think you've got a better shot at replacing a great wide receiver than a pass rusher on that level. Because we find another 1 or 2 like every year now. If you gave me
If you gave me 3 first-round picks, there's not a player on the Dallas Cowboys roster that I would not consider trading for 3 first-round picks. That quarterback included.
Yeah, you had to tell me where the picks are. Because if you trade the quarterback, the weird part is that he's the worst player of the bunch. But he's also the one that if I don't get anything close to his level of play, my team sucks.
Right. I'm assuming that at least one of those has to be top 10, and the other 2 have to be middle of the road.
Yeah. Hey, Vach. Vach is in the chat. Look, everybody. I can click on him. That's Vach Lombardi. If you're a Cowboy fan, you should be following him because he does wonderful content.
He does. Vach, what up, my G?
I had to catch up to him on draft. I had to catch up to him on draft stuff because I bet he's like 200 players in, and I'm like 7. What's up?
He's walking you down.
What else? What's next? You excited about Zimmer? Indifferent about Zimmer?
I'm indifferent. Because here's my thing, and I'm gonna dive in. So before anyone steals this idea and go do the research before I do, I'm gonna say that I thought about this first. I'm gonna go. Well, I've partly done some of the work, because if we're talking about if we can do Zimmer's entire career, right? Let's just say the last 10 years. But if we could do his entire career, because I get it, he's the grandfather of the simulated pressures. Fine. And he can do this. Fine. The last 10 years, Zimmer has not made it out of, I think he has one conference championship game. That's it.
Okay, but you're going to make me go look up, like, who was the favorite in those playoff games? Did he have the better team?
Don't care. I don't care. My thing is that now we've seen good regular season defenses. And if you're supposed to be an upgrade, or not even an upgrade, but if you're supposed to be a better on roster development or getting players in the right places and stuff like that, your defenses hasn't been good enough to win yourself many playoff games either. There's been a lot of wild card losses. There's been a lot of divisional round losses. Now, maybe that's accredited to Kirk Cousins and the offense and other players, but my concern is defensively. When I watch Kansas City, right? When I watch Kansas City, what Kansas City defense did was it was like, hey, we're just going to hold on tight until 15 gets it going. When 15 and 87 and Big Red on the sideline finally catch their rhythm, we'll be okay. But we're not going to let them pull away from us too far away. We'll give a 10-point lead, but that's within punching distance if I have a guy like Patrick Mahomes. When our offense isn't clicking, we get the dog piss beat out of us. There is no resistance. There is no, hey, we're going to hold on. We're going to hold on until our offense figures it out. We're going to do just enough to give ourselves a fighting chance. So for me, when it comes to Zim, it's, will you be able to build a defense? And I'm still holding out because I don't want to judge him right now. My only concern is, will you be able to put together a defense that can get us past the divisional round? That's it. That's it. We've had 12. We've had 13-3. We've had 3 straight 12-win seasons. We've seen it all, and we've done it all in the regular season. That cannot be our concern anymore. That cannot be our concern anymore. And for Mike Zimmer, can he come in a very short amount of time? And I've said this on this show, on other shows, and I'll say it again. One of the biggest things that we will have to look at, and one of the biggest determining factors on whether this Cowboy team makes it, but this Cowboy team makes it or breaks it, or this thing all falls together, will be the schedule makers. That's going to be a determining factor, because if you got to play Baltimore and Cincinnati and Cleveland and the Niners, and you have those are like 5 of your first 6 or 7 games, it can hit the fan really bad here in Dallas, because you can find yourself being 1-5, 2-5, 3-4, and now things ain't gonna look the way that you want to look them. So the schedule makers and how these games are partitioned out throughout the season can play a huge factor in, because you do want some regular, because they're not playing in preseason, right? Micah and company are not playing in preseason, so they won't get a real chance to kind of work out the kinks. So you're going to use those early games, those first 3 or 4 games, as my friend Nate Newton likes to says, those are first regular season games. They're like preseason for the veterans. So you're going to use those first 4 games to work out all of the kinks that you've been trying to put in throughout the entire offseason. You know, you would hope that you get maybe the Steelers. You would hope maybe it's Atlanta, or maybe it's the Panthers in those first couple of games. But if you come out the gate and it's Baltimore, it's Cincinnati, because Joe Burrow's probably going to come back with the vengeance, and it's Detroit, it's the Niners. Like, it could be a holy hell of a way to go in the beginning of the year.
Come get some.
Okay.
It's February. I can be fake confident. I got time.
Yeah. And I can already probably say the season probably gonna open up with the Commanders. Right?
No, it'll open with the Giants. Come on.
No, Commanders are a better storyline. You can actually give the Commanders one of their primetime games, get them out the way early because there will be a storyline there, right? So we're not putting the Commanders on primetime Sunday Night Football when the season really gets good and they're not really good. Go ahead and give them the opening game of the season. Cowboys, Commanders, Dan Quinn versus Mike McCarthy. New coach on a contract, coach on a one-year deal. It's all the storylines, right? It's all the storylines. The Commanders get a new quarterback. There's a ton of storylines that you can put there. Get the Commanders on national TV early on so that they don't have to worry about putting them on national TV in primetime Monday night, Sunday night games later on in the season.
The Drake May game, baby. Week 1. Boo. What was the thing?
Then it was CeeDee and Micah talking on the podcast, and
I'm done. I'm done with that. I mean, unless there's something in there you want to pull out of there, I'm done with it. I mean, it was just, I don't know, man. There's nothing.
How do you feel about Zim? I haven't heard. What do you feel?
I like him. I like it. I think offense for me with the NFL would be easier to pick and choose and be like, oh, I would have rather had. Like, I like Zimmer's track record. I think that he has a track record of being good quickly, even if he starts with a bad defense, and this isn't a bad defense. Because I don't have to be out there, I can just say I don't care that he's actually a coach who's can be kind of tough on people. If that turns out to be a bad thing, so be it. I think it's a good thing. I think that most players, although now we're older, I could be wrong. I could be a whole generation off. I didn't like coaches that were dicks, but guys who were sometimes that way, but also were good enough communicators and coaches to let you know that at the end of the day, I'm doing this because I care about you and I want you to be good. Those are the best coaches I ever had. I would take that over, you're the best, buddy, all day, every day. So I like his results. I like that he's been good against the Shanahan tree. I like it. And I think the most important thing is going to be that, like, Mike Zimmer is certainly a capable defensive coordinator. So then I just kind of move it along to, okay, but what's he going to have to work with? Because last year, once Van Der Esch and Overshown were hurt, you're kind of doomed if teams were willing to do things a certain way. And I'll be excited to see somebody else try their hand at it, because last year's Cowboy defense, the last 6-8 weeks of the season was butt, and they never really did anything about it. So I'll be excited to see somebody else take a crack at it and see what Zim can do.
They were burnt out.
Oh yeah, they were tired. They were burnt out. I forgot about that. And I don't know, I like from a content creation perspective, it's great to be able to hear directly from players all the time. And I guess it's pretty clear that Travis Kelce is not the hardest worker ever. Like, he's drunk far too often to be always working hard and stuff. And I guess he's 34, 35 and still great. So it's just a DNA thing. So maybe it doesn't matter. And Micah can do all the podcasting he wants and be as online as he wants. And ultimately none of it matters because his DNA says he's effing incredible. But part of me is like, can we please just play football and worry about football more than we're worried about booking Jordan Love and doing another half hour on Bleacher Report, podcast network and crap? But what are you going to do? He's great at football.
Here's the thing when it comes to podcasts, in my opinion, when it comes to player podcasts, you got to win. Like with anything in life, if Micah is in the NFC Championship game, no one cares about the podcast. The biggest thing about Micah and his podcast is when you get, when you go on a podcast, and let me be very careful how I say this. When you go on the podcast and you challenge a community to go watch film because you say that you did all that you can do in a game where you got routed and statistically you only had a tackle and an assisted tackle, people don't want to hear that. Like, your fans don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. And when you invite a player that that kicked your butt, and then he tells you how he kicked your butt, and then there's no resistance from you. You just take it, right? Like, you never push back. You never push back on that situation. You just
well,
allow.
he kind of did. Well, let me say this. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't want to lose the thought. Part of it is just like, if there isn't winning on a bigger stage, it'll go straight to that point that he kind of told Jordan Love, like, we knew what y'all were going to do. We knew we had to stop the run. And what he was alluding to the whole time was, if the coach has put me in the right place, we would have beat you. And it's just like, that is going to wear people out, and maybe teammates out at some point, where it's like, first of all, it's not true. How they beat you is not what you even said. And sometimes it annoys me just because it lets me know I know more about what happened in that game than you do. And that's annoying.
And so, again, you talked about it earlier, right? You made the poll. You talked about leadership, right? So this is a guy who's supposed to be, and I get it. Not all the time is your best player or best players your best leaders. But when you get on there and you say, well, the coaches aren't putting me in position, and then Jordan Love says something of the effects of, yeah, we knew you guys had DBs playing linebackers, and he's like, yeah, we knew that can work out. You're like, yeah, for sure, right? And then when you said another podcast and you talk about, yeah, I really do hope Jerry Jones goes all in, because they didn't do that last year and we didn't have the players you need. So now guys in the locker room looking around saying, damn, bro, like
that was right after they drafted exactly the player he wanted. And it turned out that dude wasn't good. But they didn't do what they should have done, but they did exactly what you would have done. But that wasn't a good, like, it's just there. I don't know. I think it's dangerous to give yourself that platform when you don't know what you're going to say while you're saying it, because, like, you're not a pro broadcaster. And then when people get to see it and hear it, what they hear is you accidentally, like, I don't think there's anything malicious or that he's trying to go after his teammates or coaches or whatever, but your wiring at this point in your life is pretty much to say that I did everything great, other people didn't, and we definitely would have won if I was picking what we did. Let
me ask you a question. Give me a word that describes that what you just said. Just one word. When a player does that.
Selfish, self-absorbed, narcissistic.
Okay. Just curious.
Not accountable.
No, I think the first word you had it right. The first word that came to your mind was a word that I use that people killed me for.
People need to get over words. Like, people can be incredible players, incredible people, and growing all the time. And you can say that somebody's selfish, or his actions or his words or the way that he, whatever, dude. It doesn't mean I hate your favorite player and he's not great. It means people need to grow. CeeDee said it today. It serves no purpose for a guy who's about to make all the money and is the best receiver to pout and body language suck, and, like, all the other receivers are looking over, they're like, what in the are we doing? It doesn't serve anyone, and you have to grow. It's the rules.
3 years in this league, man, I've seen just about everything.
All of it.
All of it.
All of it, baby. Formula is here. Predict who the boys will be drafting in the first 3 rounds. Captain trade. I haven't seen 3 rounds worth of people. Insert name of an offensive lineman, a linebacker, and a running back.
Oh,
how about that?
Oh, no. Go get me Joe. I'll take Joe Mixon when the Bengals release him.
Well, he's kind of washed. I mean, he's Boomer Sooner, and that's my guy, but he kind of washy, or getting towards washed. We don't stop with no old people. No old people. Okay. But guess what? Pollard? Sure. You want to come back for $1.5 million? You're on the team.
Go get me Joe Mixon. Go get me Joe Mixon, and go get me a guy in the 6th round. Young guy.
Too spawn, baby.
I'm not.
People said, what about Derrick Henry? No. I want somebody 6 years younger.
No.
6 years younger, maybe 7.
No.
I want a room full of 23-year-olds that are pissed off and running for contracts.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
With
all of them.
Hellcats. I want them all to have Hellcats.
Hell, what?
Hellcats.
What's that?
Cars, the Chargers, the Hellcat cars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all the young people have Hellcats.
Okay.
Yeah, 23 with Hellcats. Driving up and down Frisco, the tollway with Hellcats. Just young, dumb, and full of Hellcats.
Okay. I think I'm proud of you for not saying it. I think that was a great job.
See, growth. 40 years old. Seen just about everything.
Seen just about everything.
Seen just about everything.
39 years old. Seen some stuff. But I do, like, as you're analyzing young people in the game, and it's like, I was broke as could be at like 24, and I was still super cocky, and I still didn't handle criticism well, and I still didn't, although maybe because you have that stage, you should be expected to seek out because the answers are available to you and you could learn it. But my emotional responses during competition were not good. So, like, anytime you say, "Oh, that's selfish," "That's dumb," "That's whatever," it doesn't mean you're
during competition. That's acceptable, right? Like during competition, there you have free reign to be whoever, whatever, whenever you want, right? As long as you're not like dirty to an extent where you're hurting, like you're dirty hurting players.
No, I think I'm thinking of, and it probably applies to Luka the most, then CeeDee, then Micah. But what I'm talking about is during competition, when things aren't going your way, what do you do? In Micah's case, he does this face and he limps. CeeDee goes over there and pouts or rages, and Luka cusses out old people that are officiating the game. Like, it's your emotional response when things aren't going your way. What is it? Micah sucks. CeeDee sucks. Luka sucks. Mine sucked when I was their age, but I didn't make as much money, and it wasn't as important for me to mature or learn it. So I got to wait a decade before I figured it out. But that's more what I'm talking about. Okay. If anybody has questions they want to throw in, go ahead and throw them in. Otherwise, I'm going to play Fortnite with my nephew. I'm going to lay people down. It's going to be crazy. And we got to fix stuff on the Cowboys, but we got time.
How much we're talking about drafting now, right? How much leash do you give Mike Zimmer heading into this draft? Because we understand the glare zero. Okay. All right. Okay.
At least you mean do it like input?
Like,
hey. I think Dan Quinn having input on drafts was poison. I think that you should, like, the linebacker thing. You can't blame the coach for the number of guys that got hurt. But before the Bills playoff game, when their head coach said, I only have 4 active linebackers in this game, it's the first time ever that I've only had 4. So they always have 5 or 6 active. The Cowboys went into the season with 3 total? Like, part of that was Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn loves Jaron Kearse at linebacker snaps. He loved Marquise Bell as an undrafted free agent. That was his guy. He said, I want him because I see a safety that I can play at linebacker. Like, he liked that stuff. So everything, like, as a coach, here's what you can do. You can fill out a nice little spreadsheet. I'll make it for you. These positions, what do you like? What are your favorite traits? What are the things you want? And then the dudes who do this 365 days a year, I'll find them. You don't have to go to the workout and be like, that's the guy, because I know better than you do. You tell me what you want, and I'm going to put the players in order. Mm-hmm. We don't have to trade a next year's 4 or 5 to go draft a corner who's never going to see the field in the NFL, much less on this team. We don't have to do that because you liked him and worked him out and his arms were long. We don't have to do that. You tell me what you like. And we have a whole staff that makes good money and is good at this. We'll find your players. You don't pick them. Broadus's Parcells thing is my favorite one of that, where Bill Parcells wanted some offensive lineman. He was like, I want that guy. I'm going to pick that guy. And Broadus was like, he's everything you hate in an offensive lineman. Like, we know what you like. That ain't it. And Bill was like, no, I do. I really like him. And they picked him. He couldn't play, and they cut him in camp. And it's like, no, we know what you want. I promise. You make that clear. We'll go get him. You don't pick the players. We have people who do it. We'll pick the players. It'll work out way better, I promise. I don't want coaches drafting, period.
Okay.
Unless they have like a sterling record of being incredible at it. I want I want Will McClay to pick the players. Zim, you can sit out there. Tell me what you want. Our priorities this offseason, we know what they are. I need 17 linebackers. I need better D tackles. I can always use corners. I got it. You got something you prioritize in a spot? Let me know. I'll go find him. I got it. You don't have to go to pro day and then fall in love with a guy, Sam Williams and Eric Scott. You don't have to do all that. I'll get him. Sorry. So that was my Zimmer answer. Yeah, I don't want him to have any input whatsoever on who you pick at all.
That's all I got for you.
You can tell me I'm desperate for multiple defensive tackles, and I would say, thanks. We'll find them. We got you. Anything in particular you want? You like them real beefy? What you want? What you want them to do? I got you. Okay. Anyway, how would you handle running back? Don't pay any of these running backs. We'll find guys. It'll be fine. We'll do more off-season stuff later. We need D tackles. We need linebackers. We need some. We might need 3 O-linemen. Maybe. But I'm also obsessed with receivers. Don't let me pick. I'll pick one. CeeDee, we still don't have a number 2. We don't have a number 2. I need number 2. All right. I love you, Jesse.
Hi, brother. Love you too.
Thanks, everybody, for kicking it. We love you. This is brought to you by Bet Online. Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through, so be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.